Okay, great. So yeah, let's talk about distillation. So people used to do this method called sequence knowledge distillation for training these models. And the way it would work is that you'd have the teacher, which would produce a sequence of outputs like this. And this would be like a smart model that you knew would do very well on a task. And you wanted to have a smaller model, which we'll call a student, basically learn to do nearly as well as what the teacher was doing. And the way it would work is you would just target the student basically just with standard like cross entropy to try to match what the teacher was doing. And this was kind of common for doing things like machine translation and kind of early forms of training language models to do well on these tasks. A couple of years ago, another method came out that has become quite popular called on-policy distillation, or OPD. And on-policy distillation has a nice benefit that it can be used during RL and plays really nicely with some of the RL techniques that people use. And the way it's going to work is that instead of producing the output from the teacher, you're going to instead have the student produce the output. So we'll have the student here, and it's going to produce a sequence. Now the sequence might be a series of tool calls saying like, how you might, say, solve a coding problem. Now this is going to be kind of not that great, but you're going to then have the teacher rescore each of the tokens in those sequences. So now we have basically the teacher running a forward pass over that data. Or at each position, it's going to maybe make kind of different choices about what tokens it would like to have there. So you have two sets of log props, the ones from the student and the ones from the teacher. You're now going to take a tail loss between these two, and you're going to update the student to be more like what the teacher was producing.
Can I ask a very basic question? You could sort of think of one way of doing this as you just match whatever, you just treat the teacher's output as a supervised learning target.
Yeah.
Why do we train it such that the student is trying to match the teacher?
Yeah. So in this way, you basically would have the teacher and its full sequence outputs as a supervised learning target. In this setting, the scope or trajectory of the outputs are going to follow basically what the teacher was doing.
Yeah.
In this setting here, the trajectory is basically following what the student was doing.
I see.
Like the intuitive analogy is like, this is like you're watching like Rafael Nadal play tennis.
Yeah.
And he's like so good.
Right.
He's just doing amazing things. And you're the student over here.
Yeah.
And you're trying to kind of copy that, right? The analogy here is that this is like Sasha playing tennis. And you have like Rafael Nadal over the shoulder and correcting all the mistakes that you're doing.
I see.
And each of these is like the kind of like smart teacher correcting the like motion and trajectory of what you're trying to do in that setting.
It seemed like you were hinting in your blog post on Composer 2.5 that this is helping you guys solve the credit assignment problem.
Yeah.
Can you explain how that's happening?
Sure. So before we get there, let's make one more detour, which is to note that on-policy distillation works very nicely when you're doing RL as well. So when you're doing RL, think about this as basically the model that you're learning. It's going to basically be doing a rollout anyway and producing its output. So we're basically already going to have to do a kind of forward and a backward step on the what we're calling the RL or the student model. So we have some loss, which is basically the RL loss for this setting.
Yeah.
And since you have that already, you can maybe think about how you might use the teacher and have a kind of second part of the loss, which we'll call the on-policy distillation loss, which is basically computed by taking this part, which you have already, the log props from the student, comparing them to what a teacher would have done, and getting this update. If you have that update, you can kind of add it in and get extra benefit.
Interesting.
Cool. Now, in the case of Composer, we actually don't have a teacher model. We don't have like another model that's better than the model we have. So we're going to use this method that's become popular recently called on policy self-distillation. And the idea here is basically we're going to synthesize a teacher to try to help us out. So we don't have a better model, but we can pretend we have a better model by taking a student plus text feedback. And the text feedback is going to be this kind of extra information that we inject into this trajectory. So there'll be some extra information we'll put here that basically tells you what you'd like the model to do. And you can compute the log probs for the student, and then the log probs for the student plus the text feedback. And there'll actually be differences at this message. So this and this will not have exactly the same log probs.
Right.
Because you've conditioned an extra information.
I guess there's still a remaining problem here, which is that you would need to keep rerunning this trajectory because initially the student, following its own policy, will notice this mistake, but will still have just gotten stuck in a loop, and it will like keep making the same mistake, and it needs to you need to keep redoing this until it fixed that mistake, and then actually learn the correct.
Yeah, right. So the question is if the text feedback is not strong enough or maybe ill-targeted.
Or something like, suppose there's another error like here, but if you're on policy for the student would have already gotten stuck here.
Yeah, that's right, yes.
And the student would already gotten stuck here, and then it wouldn't have it would never encounter this additional improvement. Whereas in the sequence knowledge distillation world, it would have encountered all of the teachers. Like you would have seen Nadal perform the other move better as well, even if you fucked up the first serve.
Yeah, right. We're only going to get slightly better a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
Whereas in theory, if you're following the whole output, maybe you can do some amazing thing.
Okay, and then here, what we were saying is we don't want to learn what to do once we've already made a Nadal type serve, because I'm not making the Nadal type serve yet. And then how do I return the retort? I want to learn what do I do next. And so I'm just going to unroll the trajectory as I would, and then I'm going to compare if Nadal found himself in a position where I'd done a terrible volley, what would he do next?
Yeah, right. So right, this is you start from something really good. This is something you start from something really bad and kind of correct on the way.
Yeah. Okay. So now on to what you guys actually did to train Composer 2.5.
Yeah.
How do you figure out what the right text feedback is? Is it done in an automated way? Are there people who label it? How does that happen?
Yeah. So basically the way this works is that during the RL process, we have Composer and allow it to basically read the trajectory. We've written some manual prompts that look for specific mistakes in the styling or the errors of the process itself. And they will suggest certain times when text feedback is useful, and they'll point to a specific message where they want to inject it. And the reason this is necessary is because when we do RL, we don't just have kind of 3 turns, we might have hundreds of them. And so RL itself has trouble kind of locating where these errors are. But we can use models to kind of tell us where there's a problem, and then use text feedback to kind of target that problem and correct it directly.
Okay, so how well does it work?
It works pretty well. I mean, you can basically see these curves where when you have a specific error, kind of put this in, and it kind of much quicker than the full RL process, these things will go away.
Right.
It's not at the point yet where it kind of replaces aspects of RL. So we're still kind of doing this in conjunction with the actual system itself.
Got it. I guess you need to be able to identify what if it's a sort of easily identifiable issue versus something more subtle.
That's true.
Yeah.
We focused on these ones as kind of a starting point.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of interest in kind of building the scope of these. I think text is a very good way of communicating information.
Yeah.
And is a great way of storing information between companies and people. It is a frustrating aspect of modern RL that even though we can read trajectories and they're bad, and even other models can read them in their.
Yeah, interesting.
We can't inject that information directly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. For you to be able to execute this protocol, the student produces a trajectory. Then a reader, another model, looks at that trajectory and says, here's the error you made.
Yeah.
Then, based on the reader's analysis, a new prompt is made, and then you re-execute another trajectory. And unless you've kept the log prompts of the previous model, then at the very least you had to run another forward pass on this new model. Anyways, it just seems like there's a multi-step process here where the trajectory has to be regenerated and then an evaluator model has to be called. Can this all be done in the on policy, basically, where if you had to keep can this be done concurrent with the trainer loop?
Yeah, so it's slightly simpler than that. So we've generated this output.
Yeah.
It's just a sequence of tokens. We're going to send those sequence of tokens to this model that's going to read it.
Yeah.
And then it's going to isolate a specific, say, turn that it says is problematic.
Yeah.
Then we're just going to do text manipulation. We're just going to take that trajectory and we're literally just going to like smash in some extra tokens. We're not going to have to do any inference. We're just going to take this new trajectory with this extra information. We're going to run a forward pass on that. That's going to give us the log props. We're going to detach from our graph, and then we're just going to backprop it along with RL.
I may be misunderstanding something, but it seems like you have to do at least 2 different consecutive rollouts in order to run the on-policy self-distillation strategy, where you'd have to do the student rollout, and then you have to do, then the evaluator looks at it, figures out what the issue was, writes a new prompt. Then based on the new prompt, you do the new rollout with a better prompt, and then you compare the two. And then, but it sounds like you're saying there's one rollout. I must be misunderstanding.
So it's actually a little simpler than that. So there's just one rollout. This is the rollout.
Yeah.
And these tokens here and here are exactly the same tokens. And in fact, even here and here, these are exactly the same tokens as well. We're not generating anything new. Basically, what we're doing is we're rescoring the log probability for these tokens under a slightly modified context. So we're basically just taking the text of this rollout, we're then inserting some new text here, and we're recomputing how those log props would have changed under that new text. So just kind of going back to the tennis analogy, this is like my bad swing, and then this is kind of like Rafael Nadal, like over my shoulder, kind of correcting each of the little mistakes I was making. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's not like you need to watch Rafael play a game and then you try to match the game.
Yeah.
It's just like this is still your game. You're not doing a new rollout. You're just and so you don't have to do decode, basically.
You don't have to decode, you're just slightly modifying little parts of what you did.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but as you noted earlier, the downside of this is that I'm not going to make amazing, incredible progress. Like by the time I get to the end, I'm still doing the dumb things I did before. And I'm just getting kind of little local corrections on what was going on.
Yeah, interesting. Thanks for explaining it.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks.